Next question is, we are remodelers as well as builders. How do we do additions and get the material list? And a second question to that is, can we import our CAD DWG projects?
Okay, well let's first of all touch on bringing in the AutoCAD files. You can do it in a number of different ways in Envisioneer, depending on what you wanted to use the AutoCAD file for. If I come up here to File and Import, we've got this Object Wizard, and that Object Wizard allows me to bring a 3D block in. So if you've done 3D work in AutoCAD, you can continue to use those same 3D blocks that you had. So I think furniture, cabinets, things along that line that you still want to use as part of a 3D model. So use that from Import Object Wizard. If you wanted to bring in a CAD file to trace over top of, so you've done a 2D floor plan, and much like we did with the PDF, you can also import a CAD file into our 2D environment that you can trace over as well. So just bringing in a floor plan or an elevation that you want to just trace over top of. A third way that you can bring in AutoCAD files into Envisioneer is you can bring them in through our worksheets. So I can import a CAD file. So these are like details that you might want to use again. So I'll just bring in a detail here, and I'll just make it a scale here. So you can bring them in on our worksheets. When you bring them into this environment, it's different than the model view environment in the fact that I can explode apart this detail. So I can select it, hit modify and explode. Now they're individual strings of text. Every line is separated, so I can modify and change that DWG file. Okay, so just to recap, there's 3 different ways you can bring an AutoCAD file into Envisioneer to use. If it's a detail or something that you need for your working drawing sheets, you come up to Insert, Import a CAD file. Once it's in this environment, you can explode it apart, change and update the text, and then you can even save it right back out as a block again. If you're in the model view, you can bring in a DWG file for 2 different reasons. I can import an AutoCAD file because it's a 3D block, piece of furniture, a cabinet, something I want to use again with my 3D models that I'm developing in Envisioneer. And you do that through File, Import, Object Wizard. Or if I'm bringing in an AutoCAD file that I originally started and as a floor plan, and I just want to trace over top of it to create a 3D model, File, Import, Import a CAD file. It'll come in as a 2D file, and you can trace over top of it, much the same as what we showed when importing a PDF.
Oh, and the addition, material list. The addition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're working on, and it's just an addition that you want to quantify and not the rest of the house, if I double click on this wall as an example, and I come to the quantify page, when you have elements in Envisioneer, you can have them so that they don't include this element in a quantity. If I uncheck that, this wall won't quantify. So think of setting up in your catalog panel walls for new construction, existing construction, and demolish work. And then you can distinguish between them that the existing walls don't quantify. Take away that check mark so they're not going to quantify. And under our Appearance tab, you can have these 2D elements, if it's an existing wall, set to a lighter line style so that they're not as significant on your working drawings as your new construction is. And if it's demolish work, again, uncheck the quantify and then set these line types to be dash dot. So again, you can distinguish right on the floor plan new, existing, and demolished construction.
Okay, the next question is about how about a 64-bit version? Maybe I'll answer that question. So Envisioneer 6.0 is not a native 64-bit compiled version, okay? Which means it doesn't necessarily take advantage of all the advantages of a 64-bit system. But it is important to note that we fully run on any 64-bit system. There hasn't been any complications or any errors that we have seen in our testing running on 64-bit systems, and it's not going to be a very long time to wait before we actually are compiled and do take advantage of 64-bit. So it is something that's coming pretty shortly, pretty quick on the list. But today there's been no issues with 64, but it is actually not taking advantage of 64-bit systems right now. I've got a question here saying the download, and I'm assuming it means the trial version of Envisioneer was only STD, which I'm assuming means standard. I have Construction Suite. Is there a different download? Now, the trial version of Envisioneer is Construction Suite. The naming convention may not be clear, but the trial load of Envisioneer that is on our website right now is full Construction Suite. The only limitations right now is that it doesn't allow printing or importing or exports. And the Plant Encyclopedia is not entirely there just because the file size would be much bigger if it was. But all the other functions are there. You have full framing, full quantity, full quote generator capability in the trial version, and all the drawing and modeling and rendering features that you might want. So if you think that you may not have all the features that you're looking for, let us know. Call our support department, and we'll point them out to you.
I just wanted to add to that, because version 6 has started shipping, some of you may have already started to receive your physical package through FedEx, or you've been received an email with a download link from us. If you don't think you have the correct download and you've ordered Construction Suite and we sent you one that's maybe a professional version or our essentials version, like Brad said, let us know so that we can correct your link, but make sure that you do let us know if you think you do have the wrong version downgrade or upgrade, or the wrong package has arrived.
And then I think as an addition to my 64-bit question was about multi-threading, and I know who that question's coming from. So right now we're not supporting multi-threading, but the Radiosity engine in 3D Real View is supporting multi-threading. Once again, good question, and that's the kind of thing that we are looking into as we speak on and how we can make Envisioneer more efficient, faster, and take advantage of the 64-bit operating system.
I just was reading a comment by one of our clients that gave a helpful tip to everyone out there. He's using a product called BB Flashback Express to Recorder. And what he does is he's taping our webinars himself on his own computer. And then he can leave and come back, and it's recorded the webinar for him, so he doesn't have to be physically there. He's warning that it is a large file size as well, but at least he's recorded it. It's on his own system, and so he doesn't have to. He can just watch it as his leisure. So if you're wanting to tape our webinars as well yourself, great tip from one of our users using BB Flashback Express to Recorder to do so.
There's a couple that are very specific to projects. That's all the general questions that I'm seeing right now. Now, there is a couple of questions that didn't get answered. They're really more specific to a specific project that somebody might be working on. And I think those might be better, to take on a one-on-one basis, because it is specific to a project that a couple of you are actually working on right now. So our support department will get a hold of you and walk you through your issues, either online or through email. And so if I'm ignoring a couple of your questions or missed a couple of your questions, we're not going to forget about you. It just this may not be the appropriate forum to answer them.
And
what was the name of the webinar?
Yeah, I'm gonna type that up so everybody can look at it. I'm just gonna put it up, and you'll see that come back up as a chat, and I'll put that in as a chat portion in there so that everybody can see it. So look at your chat section of your GoToMeeting console, and you'll see up there that it's BB Flashback Express to Recorder. And I printed that name up there so that you can take a look at that and download it. Okay, that ends off all the questions that we do have. If there, as Brad said, if there was a specific question that you had about a particular project you're working on, we do have that in our questions here, and we'll answer you on an individual basis on those questions as well. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. If you're looking for pricing information on the software, contact your local distributor or our head office at sales@cadsoft.com, and they'll be able to send out the pricing information for you on the upgrade and all of the export utilities available with Envisioneer now, as far as the structural exports to iLevel, MyTech, and KeyMark, and also the new PDF importer. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us for these exciting new features of version 6. I'm happy to say that a lot of these new features are because of requests that our end users have put into the software, either through our support forum by visiting us at a training center or calling into our support line and letting us know what new features are important to you and your business. And we're going to continue to look at those different venues for all of your input so that we can bring you new versions of Envisioneer that'll make your business more and more easy. So thanks everyone for joining us today. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.